Good morning, everyone. I got out the crew in here, so there may be some noise and interruptions. Our oldest one, they're not happy there. Well, they could go out, but they don't want to right now because the oldest one is upstairs and he has a leg that hurts him every so often, and my sister-in-law said, let's just leave him in for a day rather than, because he wants to go and run, but he needs his rest. So these guys don't know what to do with themselves. They're playing right now. Oh, did that just bother you playing? I'm so sorry. No, my big boy here. Oh, what I love about him really is when we go out and walk, he always walks right next to me. And so I can just reach down. I don't have to hunch down and pet him or anything. I just pet him. He's just the right height, isn't he? Aren't you? Huh? Yeah. Make sure that Mama stays stable out there. I can hold on to him if I need to. Huh? Such a good boy. Jake goes, hey, what about me? What about me? Oh, Jake. Of course, you're the best. He brings us firewood all the time. Huh? You guys don't know what to do with yourselves this morning, huh? Yes. Okay. All right. I'm wearing the scarf that my son-in-law gave me for Christmas. Yes. I'm drinking out of the cup that my grandson gave me. It says, I love Grandma. And I love to surround myself with the love given to me. And it looks like it's a little sparrow. Some kind of a bird. Little fat bird that just landed on the railing out there. Oh, that was a beautiful little moment. I love to surround myself with things given to me out of love. That's just me. Our whole house is decorated with art from family and friends, my grandchildren, my children. I'm looking at a dulcimer right now that my son started to make. It's not finished, but finished enough to hang on the wall and remind me of my son's great talents and everything else. It's just, my whole house is just, I feel like an altar for God. And outside, the same thing. Which brings me to another question for people. Yes? How have you seen God work in your life? Yeah? I don't know if people have certain ideas about that, but I'm sure people do. And, one thing. So I had the trigger thumb. I couldn't move it. And then it would snap. It's something in here where is a muscle or a ligament that goes through some place, and that can get inflamed or stuck or whatever. And I read up on it. When you have arthritis like I do, it's something, if that happens, it's most likely, except for with surgery, can't be fixed. And I started taking that SOD again. I said, I'm telling you, I'd suggest that to anyone. If you start having pains in your joints or this or that, start taking that stuff. I mean, it's been working every time. It's not just that. I feel like my back's better, my legs are better, my hips are better, my elbows are better, my shoulders are better. Everything seems to be better. I've been taking it for about 3 weeks now. And look, my trigger thumb. I can use my thumb again. I thought, well, this is it. Can't use that thumb again. I can grip things again with it. It's not painful at all. There's no snapping going on. Every once in a while it gets a little stiff again. But guys, I've not been able to do this for months. Look at this. Oh, how does God work in my life? I feel like there's just this give and take. Yes? I believe in healing angels. I believe in angels that have jobs. They have their jobs to support us out there, and and to okay, what is it? Guide us, to support us. And goodness, if we ask, healing angels. I feel healing angels are amazing. When you're in this deep sleep, where they can work on you, your system's all relaxed. This is, okay, so it's a SOD who did this, the healing, probably a combination of, I don't know, but I believe. I just believe. I see these things happening in my life all the time. I just walk my way through it in a steady pace. Yes? Well, anyway, let's get going here. Ugh. Just... Oh, and I just watched something really, really excited me in my movement. And yes, I am a part of the True Parents movement. Reverend Sung Myung Moon, who's passed to spirit world now, and Hak Jahan Moon, our true mother, who's still here with us, and she's still working so hard to just lay foundations for God's ideal. Yes, yeah, we needed a true father. We had Jesus, but Jesus never got married, had never had a wife to establish that true family. Okay, the blessing, the change of lineage back to God. That's what we call it. I love that concept. I mean, regardless on what you believe out there, one has to love that concept. Back to God's lineage. And if that requires a blessing, well, go get it. You know, I mean, what do you have to lose? And then move on with that. Move on forward with that. The blessing reaches back to your ancestors, and it will reach forward for your descendants. Everything all around it is good and great about it. That connection. Yes, it's a physical kind of connection here on earth with the blessing, then that spiritual connection where the commitment, what do I often say? Take responsibility and make a commitment to God, our parental God. Life just takes on all but completely different meaning. It just does. But what I saw is that South Koreans really working hard in South Korea to unify, to unite with their North Korean people. Is there anybody feel there's anything wrong with that? And again, they're doing it with the guidance of God. Yes? If there is nothing else that we can do, okay, then one thing we can for sure do is to lay a foundation of love and embracing and letting people who are still under the yoke, basically, under forced in an enforced environment where they're constantly being threatened with violence or rules that if you don't do that, I'm going to kill you or something, right? Yes? Can't see their relatives, aren't allowed to travel, this kind of stuff. What kind of world are we living in that still exists? But it does. Slaves still exist. Yes? Exploitation, even of children's labor, exists. Yes? Okay, all right. And here, again, even for people to know in these dire situations that there are other people out there that are rooting for them to be free as we are free, is a good start. So, yes, I'd like to give a shout out to everyone out there who's working to unify all people. Prayer works. Asking the angels to please support these people through the hell they're going through. Keep going. Eventually, one of your generations is going to make it through it. Eventually, the evil that exists in people to do such horrific things to other people will be eliminated. It will cease to exist. I believe that. I believe that with all my heart. And with what I've seen this morning, the people and how in South Korea, South Koreans, and how excited they were with the message that they'd gotten on how to support their brothers and sisters in North Korea. Wonderful. And it's not done with a gun in our hands. And it's not done with a sword in our hands. It's not done with violence begets violence. And it's not done by how do you say it? Just pointing out the faults in these governments, or the faults in the people who have such evil within them to be capable of hurting people like that. Not just talking about North Korea now. It's about the embrace that has got to be greater than retaliation, vengeance, revenge. The embrace has got to be greater than that. I think that's the way to heal, isn't it? Yes? All right. Oh, said enough. Woo. Yes. God always knows what I need first to see so I can talk to you all. I guess I got so excited. These guys said, well, we better lay down. She's in a mode. Okay. We are in the second book of Kings, the super chapter 8, the last years of the kingdom of Judah. Ay, there we go. It's all going downhill. Hezekiah, the prophet Isaiah, Azariah. Introduction to the reign of Hezekiah, 716 to 687. Interesting on how this is led, how this leads into this 18. It's like it was written by someone else. Different approach. In the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Elah. Oh, Elah could be a woman. That's why I don't remember. I wondered, was Elah king of Israel? Could be the mother, because that's kind of where they went to suddenly mention the mothers. Whatever. King of Israel, Hezekiah, son of Ahaz, became king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he came to the throne, and he reigned for 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was, no. Oh, no, that was Hoshea. His mother's name was Abijah, daughter of Zechariah. Oh. He did what Yahweh regards as right, just as his ancestor David had done. He abolished the high places, broke the pillars, cut down the sacred poles, and smashed the bronze serpent which Moses had made. Moses even made a bronze serpent. Whoa. For up to that time, the Israelites had offered sacrifices to it. It was called Neshutan. Oh, Moses, what did we just find out here? Well, I would say Hezekiah, no doubt, was kind of watching what was going on with the king of Israel and the people there, and goes, it's time to, right? He put his trust in Yahweh, God of Israel. No king of Judah after him could be compared with him, nor any of those before him. He was devoted to Yahweh, never turning from him, but keeping the commandments which Yahweh had laid down for Moses. I wonder how many wives he had. Thou shalt not commit adultery. It's in there, guys. I just wonder. And so Yahweh was with him, and he was successful in all that he undertook. Oh, he rebelled against the king of Assyria and refused to serve him. He beat the Philistines back to Gaza, laying their territory waste from watchtower to fortified town. Wow. So the last years of the kingdom of Judah could mean something completely different here. And that is why... Okay, so just saying, I don't know yet. I have to finish reading, but I asked a friend, so what's with the word Jews? Where does that come from, really? I mean, and sure enough, it comes from Judah, right? Yes? Oh, so I'm not getting it. Why? Why was Judah so much better than the rest of Israel then? And that kind of was picked out of, because they were the last ones. And due to this king Hezekiah, right, who seems like abdicated everything, I'm thinking maybe he even went so far as to say, there's no king, there's just guidance from God, and I'll be happy to relate that guidance, or as long as... Well, anyway, interesting. And that's why they survived. Israel went down, why? And all their kings. Judah survived, why? Because finally someone came and said, Oh, it'd be interesting to know why. Why did Hezekiah take such a different stance in all this? Had the courage to say, we're done with this. We're done. Okay. The fall of Samaria, recapitulation. In the 4th year of Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, marched on Samaria and laid siege to it. He captured it after 3 years. Yeah, we already know that. Samaria fell in the 6th year of Hezekiah, which was the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel. See, so he saw all that. I guess he saw all that. I wonder if Hezekiah, right from the beginning, when he started to reign, took care of everything, or watched what was going on to the rest of Israel and goes, "Whoa, got to change something." The king of Assyria deported the Israelites to Assyria and settled them in Halah, on the Habor, a river of Gozan, and in the cities of Damascus. Yes, we already know all that. This happened because they had not obeyed the voice of Yahweh their God and had broken his covenant. That's not true, but whatever. Everything that Moses, servant of Yahweh, had laid down, they neither listened to it nor put it into practice. And that has consequences. But that does not mean, and I said that in the other video, that it wasn't God who did that. The consequences of not being under the guidance of God are, well, now you've got to deal with the nest that you built yourself. Right? Yes? Okay. Oh, so the guidance of God does make a difference in people's lives. Wow. If you're guided in the right direction, then guess what? All kinds of things are going to go right. If you're manipulated into the wrong direction, for what? Man's desire, man's will and desire, not God's. Then what? Well, then deal with the consequences. Oh, for some people that goes very well too. All right. Okay. Oh, interesting. What did I start out with? With how's God working in your life? How you are working with God? What's your give and take? That's what I started out with. And what are we reading right now? Okay. Here we go. Sennacherib's invasion. No idea how to say that name. In the 14th year of King Hezekiah, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, another king, advanced on all the fortified towns of Judah and captured them. Then Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent this message to the king of Assyria at Lachish I have been at fault. Call off the attack, and I will submit to whatever you impose on me. Huh? Well, that's not what it sounded like over here. The king of Assyria exacted 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold from Hezekiah, king of Judah. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver in the temple of Yahweh and in the palace treasury. At which time Hezekiah stripped the facing from the leaves and jambs of the doors of the temple of Yahweh, which an earlier king of Judah had put on, and gave it to the king of Assyria. Well, wait a minute. It just said over here, you rebelled against the king of Assyria and you refused to serve him. It's not what it sounds like over here. Uh-huh. Yep. This is when you have to read the whole thing. Now we're in a mess again. I thought we would get... Okay. The embassy of the cupbearer-in-chief. From Lachish, the king of Assyria sent the cupbearer-in-chief with a large force to King Hezekiah in Jerusalem. Oh, finally found out what an equerry is. That's someone that takes care of the king's horses. All right. He marched on Jerusalem, and on his arrival took up position near the conduit of the upper pool, which is on the road to the fuller's field. He summoned the king, the master of the palace, Eliakim, son of Hilkiah, Shebna, the secretary, and the herald, Joah, son of Asaph, went out to him. Well, they know all those names. The cupbearer-in-chief said to them, Say to Hezekiah, the great king, the king of Assyria, says this, What makes you so confident? Do you think empty words are as good as strategy and military strength? Who are you relying on to dare to rebel against me? I thought he didn't. How did he rebel? There you are, relying on that broken reed Egypt, which pricks and pierces the hand of whoever leans on it. That is what Pharaoh, king of Egypt, is like to all who rely on him. You may say to me, we rely on Yahweh our God, but have his high places and altars not been suppressed by Hezekiah, who told Judah and Jerusalem? Here in Jerusalem is the altar before which you must worship. Very well then, make a wager with my lord the king of Assyria. I will give you 2,000 horses if you can find horsemen to ride them. How could you repel a single one of the least of my master's soldiers? And yet you have relied on Egypt for chariots and horsemen. And lastly, have I marched on this place to lay it waste without warrant from Yahweh? Yahweh himself said to me, March on this country and lay it waste. This is very confusing. Eliakim, Shebna, and Joah said to the cupbearer-in-chief, Please speak to your servants in Aramaic, for we understand it. Do not speak to us in the Judean language, within earshot of the people on the ramparts. Why not? The rest of the people can't hear what they're saying? All right. But the cupbearer-in-chief said, Do you think my lord sent me here to say these things to your master or to you? On the contrary, it was to the people sitting on the ramparts, who, like you, are doomed to eat their own dung and drink their own urine. Yuck. The cupbearer-in-chief then drew himself up and shouted loudly in the Judean language, Listen to the word of the great king, the king of Assyria. The king says this, Do not let Hezekiah delude you. He will be powerless to save you from my clutches. Do not let Hezekiah persuade you to rely on Yahweh by saying, Yahweh is sure to save us. This city will not fall into the king of Assyria's clutches. Do not listen to Hezekiah, for the king of Assyria says this, Make peace with me, surrender to me, and every one of you will be free to eat the fruit of his own vine and of his own fig tree, and to drink the water of his own storage well, until I come and take you away to a country like your own, a land of corn and good wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of oil and honey. Whoa. Oh, this sounds familiar, doesn't it? That's interesting. And so you will survive and not die. Do not listen to Hezekiah. He's deluding you when he says Yahweh will save us. Has any god of any nation been able to save his country from the king of Assyria's clutches? Where are the gods of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the gods of Sepharvaim and Hena and Ivah? Where are the local gods of Samaria? Did they save Samaria from my clutches? Of all the local gods which once have saved their countries from my clutches, for Yahweh to be able to save Jerusalem from my clutches? The people, however, kept quiet and said nothing in reply, since the king had given the order, you are not to answer him. The master of the palace, Eliakim son of Hilkiah, Shebna the secretary, and the herald, Joah son of Asaph, with their clothes torn, went to Hezekiah and reported what the cupbearer-in-chief had said. All right. So in the beginning, there was an introduction to the reign of Hezekiah. So we got a little bit of a look into, okay, like it was like consolidated into, okay, on what Hezekiah didn't do, and that Judah actually survived. And he rebelled against the king of Syria. Then we kept on, then the story kind of started. So that was a little confusing to me. But the story started on how that all came to be. So we'll see, I guess 19 will be more of that. Let's see what it says. The prophet Isaiah. Isaiah is consulted. The cupbearer returns to his master. Sennacherib's letter to Hezekiah. Okay. That's next. Yes. Oh, all right. This is becoming a little more interesting. See? Now I see someone that wants to work with God. Hezekiah wants to do that. Yet still, to begin with, he also tried to buy off the king of Assyria, right? Yes? Seems like that the kings of Assyria, they're not true to their word. Okay? So that's what it sounds like. Which is what it is. And the people, right, the soldier up on the ramparts who now heard all this, were not shouting back or anything. Or they were instructed to keep quiet, and they did. Sounds like, which is interesting. Yes, how are people guided? What did I say before? Which way are you guided? Are you being steered in the wrong direction? By whom? For what purpose? Yeah. No one can manipulate you or make you do anything that you don't truly want to do when it comes down to it. If you live in a country like this, if you're not, okay, what did I, all right, I also talked about the evil in other people. And on how, yeah. Then physical strength matters, doesn't it? Yeah. All right. But when it comes down to it, here Judah finally had a king who, yet he robbed the temple of God too. All right, does God need all that silver, this, that? No. Would God rather, okay, go and get whatever, keep the peace, How about no killing, no war? See if you can make some kind of a treaty, right? By giving some tribute. Give them that stuff. What do you need that for anyway? Can't eat gold, right? Especially not if it's like as leaves or whatever, you know, in somewhere put on a wall or something, right? Yes? I don't think that God was sore over that, right? Yeah? All right. It's a little different when you just go and rob. Okay, so this was for what? For peace. And on top of that, Hezekiah didn't take all that because his belief had dwindled from God. There is a difference there, isn't there? Yeah. So, and the people, the soldiers, seem to be well instructed as well, guided in the right direction. Yes. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm reflecting on what I just read, which I'm hoping. Hezekiah, king of Judah. There's Bo. He said, "Come on, I'm well enough. Just let me out already." Oh no, you guys are hungry. I haven't fed you yet this morning. He's worth remembering, it sounds like. Hezekiah, king of Judah. Good. Still war going on. Yeah. Still war going on. Have to keep reading. I got to go. These guys are hungry. I need to go to the barn. It's a sunny day out there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep these guys in. I have to. Mommy said you can't go out. Yeah. Well, let's go eat. Let's go eat on my boat. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have to share this morning. God's love, blessings always. May He protect you. And I will talk to you another time. Oh, God's going to let me turn off the video, buddy.